Welcome to another Stitch Diary episode. Now I'm so excited to bring this to you today because I've been somewhere really exciting yesterday. I went to the Festival of Quilts at the NEC near Birmingham Airport, and it's a fabulous quilting show, and it's actually the biggest in Europe. Now it's not just about making quilts. It's just for people that are passionate about sewing, and even if you don't quilt, it's a delightful thing to go to. And as you may know, I'm very much into dressmaking and doll making, and I do quilting, but it's not my main craft, is it really? And I make a lot of bags and things like that. Well, I make all manner of things, but I don't make lots and lots of quilts. I'm lucky to get one quilt out a year, aren't I? So I'm going to talk about my visit and what I bought. I'll talk about my homemade outfit that I'm wearing that you have seen before in the past, and I'll talk about what I've finished and what I'm working on. So how's about that? So right, what should we start on? So we'll talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the square neck top by the Friday Pattern Company. It's a jersey fabric. It's a Tilly and the Buttons fabric. It is rather big. I can't remember if this was the smallest size or the second to smallest, but I think in the jersey I probably could done with it a bit smaller. It's a boxy kind of style, and it kind of like just sticks out here like this. So I'll stand up for you to see, but yeah, you've oh gosh, I'm knocking a Barbie off the shelf. So yeah, this is how it dips down at the front and straight at the back. And the leggings I'm wearing, they are the Avery leggings by Helen's Closet. I made those a while back. I bought it as a kind of a kit from Guthrie & Garney. The only thing I'd say is it doesn't tell you how much elastic to put on. It just tells you to measure it. And actually I think I could have, mine's a little bit frilly. I think I could have made it a little bit tighter. But I suppose they're nice and comfortable, aren't they? So yeah, I'm knocking everything here. So yeah, you might know, I might keep knocking dolls. You might have noticed since my last Stitch Diary video, things have changed a little bit, because I've just been like kind of displaying dolls and things, because in that box before, I just had the light box with some books behind it, and I've just took the light box out for a moment because I wasn't really putting it on, and I've just got my Harry Potter your ball dolls and things, and I've got a few different things going on behind me, just like just trying to store things better really. So what shall we go on to? So what I'll go on to what I was in the middle of making in my last video, but I hadn't finished it, and it seems like such a long time away now. Now, it is the bag, the first bag from Poppy to Fry's Bag Club. Now, I absolutely love this bag. I've been using it so much. That's the back of it, and that's the envelope zip that I mentioned in my last video. There's all things in it actually, because I actually took this to the Festival of Quilts yesterday, and actually it was a topic, a conversation piece actually. There was people that were admiring my bag, and and there was people that recognised it was from the Poppy Bag Club, and I actually told people about Poppy Does Sewing Club. So Poppy wasn't there, but I was promoting Poppy, so I'll have to let her know that I was actually, I've had people on their phones going on our website and things. Anyone would think I work for some of these brands sometimes, but it's because I'm passionate. But anyway, here's the pocket inside. It's not zipped inside, and there's, oh yeah, I've got all things in it actually. So yeah, it's a lovely bag, lovely bag with an adjustable strap, and yeah, I'm looking forward to making another. Now, if I get sorted, I might make the other summery bag soon, the backpack one, but it might not happen. I don't know what it is. I was going to plan that as my next sewing project, but something I've bought at the Festival of Quilts. I've ended up doing stuff as soon as I got home yesterday. So yeah, so which I'll talk about in a moment. So what else have I made? So I have made something for Barbie. This is my own design. It's a lined bodice dress, and I'm hoping that this is something I'm going to bring on my Etsy shop. Yeah, for, you know, my little business and things, my next design. But I haven't made any more. That's just my prototype, but the prototype has gone really, really well. I really like it. And something I have started is crochet. I'm knitting to do some knitting as well, but yes, this is crochet, and it's something I think I got in Toff's Black Friday sale last year, because obviously we're August now, and I just got things for, like, you know, the future, and it's going to be the Daisy Flower Monster. So you've seen that I've made the Daffodil Monster before, and this is the Daisy Monster, and that's all I've done so far. That was just literally one sitting, and I managed to get that done. And the white, there's 2 balls of white for the petals. It's that lovely alpaca yarn, 1 ball for the centre, and then there's 2 green. Like, you can choose what colours, but I've chose that green to basically do the body. So it's like a body with arms and legs, and the face has eyes and things. I don't think I've got a picture here. I don't think I printed the picture out just to save on ink, but that's something I'm going to work on in the evenings. Now, I will admit I've not been doing any knitting or crocheting or hand embroidery in the evenings on a nightly basis, almost nightly basis, like, which I often do, just because it's been very, very hot here in the UK. As if you're in the UK, you will understand. And the you know, you just had to think about keeping cool. And and if you've been watching my Doll Diaries, you will know that we got a lazy spa, which I have shared on there, and I did a little doll video on it as well, where I put a doll in there. And I think there was a little story on my Claire Who Makes Things on Instagram, where I was in the lazy spa one evening. Well, we were basically in it every single night, and one night we was in it about 12:30, because we're having such a lovely time and playing a bit of music and things. So yeah, it's been lovely. So yeah, I've had a bit of a summer break, basically. Not that I feel like I need a break from crafting. It's just because the weather just changes things, doesn't it? And then you just feel differently about getting all hot and bothered, sitting there doing a craft and things. So yeah, so that's something I'm working on in the evening. So what shall I do? I'll go on to the Festival of Quilts. So the first shop I absolutely adore that I came across was the Tilda shop. It was all Tilda fabric and Tilda toys. A little bit of a video when I was purchasing something, and then I went back later to do a little bit of pictures or a little bit of video of the toys at the side. I'll show you what I bought first in the Festival of Quilts. So I got, basically it was very spontaneous. I didn't warn you I was going there because I hadn't planned on going. Sometimes I don't end up going because the parking on my own is expensive when you're not sharing parking, and then my ticket and things, and but my dad dropped me in anyway, which was handy, and my husband picked me up, so I didn't have to worry about that, and I just bought my ticket on the day. So let me get what I bought. I took my Barbie bag. It's a big shopping bag, because I thought I could get lots in it. And she said, do you want a bag? And I said, oh, is it a fancy bag? She said, not really. And I said, actually, I will have one because it will keep, you know, my fabric nice and things. So I bought a fabric panel. This was my first purchase, and it's delightful. Now, if you're very familiar with Tilda, you'd be very familiar with the look of this. Like, I've never seen this fabric before. But it's so Tilda, isn't it? It's so Tilda. It's absolutely delightful. And yeah, it was one of those things. I didn't know what I was going to make with it, but I saw it and I just wanted it. Yeah, it was just one of those. So that was my first purchase, and they did give me 2 free catalogues, which I haven't looked through yet. It's the special edition 2022 catalogue, this one, and the Tilda's Basic 2022 catalogue. Now in this shop is where I actually got chatting to one of the ladies that knew that was a Poppy to Fry bag, and they after I purchased some, I think they purchased some of that fabric as well. I don't know if it spurred them on or anything, but yes, but that was a lovely little visit, and I'm looking forward to looking through those catalogues. I suppose it's going to be showcasing their fabrics. I don't know if it's showcasing any toys or anything like that. Yes, it looks like, you know, they've tried to showcase it with quilts and cushions and things by the look of it. I'm not seeing any toys in here. Maybe there is, but they're not jumping out at me. And I am passionate about the Tilda fabrics. In all honesty, in my ideal world, if it come to a lot of projects, I could literally sew most things in Tilda. I wish I could have it to my disposal. Solids, which in my ideal world, I'd have solids that I could just nip to and pick the perfect colour, and Tilda fabrics, and it would be all my dreams come true, actually. So then the other shop that I went to, I did a little bit of a shot in the morning actually for my stories, and it was just basically while I was waiting for it to open. So I'll pop that in while I'm having a look actually. So then I stumbled across Janet Clare, and she was a good sport. So I told her that I was going to do a story and post it later. So she was ready to give us a wave. So I'll pop that in for you to see. It's about 7 seconds, I think. Which is very nice. And I bought Janet's book. Now the book I have actually got the fabrics for. It was basically, I was collecting, and they're up here, the one of the quilting magazines, and it was purely to get the blocks each month to make this spoondrift quilt. But there were some printing errors, and I kind of made a couple of blocks, and it put me off a little bit, and I didn't end up continuing with it. But Janet released the book. Now the book did cost me £20. I must admit, I was thinking at the time of purchase, do you know when you think this, I probably could get it cheaper on Amazon. I don't know what the recommended retail price for this book is. It doesn't say on the back. No, it doesn't say. But Janet did say, do you want me to sign it for you? And I said, yes, please. And I didn't ask her what to say, but she signed it Janet Clare in the corner, which was really nice. I've met Janet a number of times, and it's always lovely to see her. And I'm an admirer of her work. I'm very into nautical, and she's very nautical and nature inspired. And yeah, and I really like that kind of thing. So yeah, so basically I should be able to make that quilt. I don't know if I was planning on making the whole quilt. I'd have been happy with, you know, maybe a few cushions or something, and then I'd have the fabric left over. But I haven't, you know, decided. In all honesty, this could be something I think about more, maybe when my boys are older. It's more of like a retirement package kind of thing, isn't it? You know, making this big quilt and things. I have to do a lot for my family, even with the age of my boys. You know, I am a carer and things, and sometimes some projects do feel a little bit overwhelming, you know, to take on, knowing they're going to be going on a long time. But yes, this is a someday project, not the near future. As I say, I have actually made a start of this. I've made a couple of blocks, but I'm not feeling it right at this present moment in time. But this, I would say, quilt wise, my next completed quilts would probably be my Christmas one that I've done all the blocks for, but I've just got to do, well, I've done all the red work blocks for, and the Mandy Shore Secret Society, and this. So those are probably going to be my next 3 completed quilts, but obviously that's a lot to do, isn't it? So I won't be planning on any more. That's why at the show I wasn't really interested in buying any quilt kits or anything like that, or quilt patterns, because I know I've got enough to be getting on with for the next few years probably. So right, I'll pop that away. And Janet's bag has got her name printed on it. I can't get it back in. It says Janet Clare. So that was very exciting. So where shall I pop that? I'll just put that there for now. No, I won't. Put it with the tilde. Trouble is, sometimes when I show you things on my videos, I can't find things after, and it's a little bit annoying. I'll see what else I've got in here. Oh, I walked past the Sew Easy stand. Now I have got their Sew Easy travel table for my sewing machine, for one of my sewing machines, and I was admiring the overlocker table, but yeah, again, it's about £300 something, but she gave me a leaflet, so that's something you know, which is nice. So I was approached by a charity. It was Make a Bag, Change for Life, and it's basically you get a pattern to make this bag and then you donate the bags, and basically you send them off to them and they fill them up with sanitary ware. So if that's something you're interested in, they have got a website. It's www.sopowerful.org. And yeah, so, and they had all these bags up and it looked really lovely. So yeah, that's a really lovely charity, you know, to support, isn't it? If you know, you're in the position, you've got lots of fabric and spare time and things, you do a lot of charity sewing. So what do we have here? So then this was a little bit later in the day actually. I came across a stand called the Cake Stand Quilts, and she gave me a lovely card. Had a lovely chat with the designer, and she's got a lovely quilt that looks like a Jubilee style quilt on the back there. Sorry about the glare that we're getting on these, but they're lovely. But yeah, I had a look at her Instagram and followed her on there, and yeah, there's some really lovely designs on there. But as I say, I'm not really interested in any more quilt patterns at the moment because I've got a lot to be getting on with. So the next thing I've got in here, and the final thing, it's not the final thing I've got to show you, and this isn't in the right order. What it is, while I was standing waiting to get into the hall, a lady was giving out some tickets that were not needed, and there was a ticket that would have cost £17 to go on a workshop. Now I must admit, I've never been able to bag a workshop when I've tried, I think, and then I've kind of think, well, how much do I want to do this? I want to spend my time, you know, looking around and things, and so yeah, I got on a free workshop basically, and I got to come home with the thread we were using. Now I had no idea what we were going to be making, and they did pass a sample around, and I'll pop a photograph up on the screen, and she said, you're not going to get this finished, you know, so and you can take it home and finish it there, and I'll show you. I did take a photograph of the sample, so yes, I got 2 photographs of the sample of the thing we were going to be making, and I'll pop those up for you to see. And I took a photograph of the room, which that wasn't landscape, I've took that sideways, and I took a photograph of the sewing machine we were using. Now it was a very lovely Husqvarna Viking machine, lots of stitches and things. The only thing I was a little bit unsure about, well, not unsure, but I was used to having, I normally sometimes just like to lift my foot up a little tiny bit just to ease things through, because we were working with a lot of bulk, and you had to literally lift the whole foot up with a button. It wasn't like you've got a lever, you could just lift it up a little bit to ease it through. Yeah, it was so you was having to make sure I don't know if you had to put the needle down. Maybe there was a way of setting your needle to go down automatically and then lift it up all the way, and then just inch it and then put it back down, which it's just, I suppose it's just a bit of getting used to. But obviously I'm used to having a lever, I have needle up and needle down, and I have, you know, a bar on one of the machines I can use, a knee lift kind of thing. So I'll show you how much I managed to get done. Now, luckily, I didn't iron any of this because I didn't iron it as I went. But luckily, a lady that was sitting next to me, she had one of those rubber roller irons. Now, I have got one of those, but I never use it because I only sew at home. But actually, if you were going on a workshop and you were short on time and you just wanted to crack on, then not a bad idea. So this is what mine looks like. It's a bit obviously creased because it's been folded in my bag, and I was given burgundy for the edging, not that teal colour. But yeah, it was, you would not believe how quick we had to dash through this, in all honesty. It was pretty crazy. And the backing they've given us, it isn't all that exciting. It's like a calico. The wadding seems decent. It seems like a nice cotton or a cotton mixed wadding, not a polyester. And how they want basically the pieces weren't long enough. She said, "Don't worry, they're not long enough." And basically what the plan is, we're meant to be centralising this. This is all I've got to do basically. You quilt it, you do some quilting on it, and then you're going to be folding your backing around for your binding basically. So I think they want you to maybe they want you to fold it in half and then over again round the back like that. And then if I do that, it looks like that. So I'd have to be very mindful that this was very even, because you could run the risk that some bits are thicker than others. So I think I'll have to be very careful if that's how I decide to do it. I must admit, I kind of wanted to get this finished during the class, because I don't know about you, but if you've ever done a workshop, which I'm not a very workshoppy kind of person, then yeah, you don't, it's like feeling like, do I really want to carry on this project when I get home? I am a bit one of those, but in all honesty, there isn't much more to do. So maybe I will actually finish this one. And they gave us they let us take the thread we were using. It was a really decent thread. It's a poly neon Madeira, and it's variegated. So it was very exciting. That's why it looks quite funky, because they wanted us to use loads of decorative stitches. Yeah, so we had to sew all these pieces. Well, no, we had to just place the pieces on basically. We meant to iron them on, but they did move a little bit, because yeah, we meant to be ironing them on and we didn't have time to. We were just told to just basically go for it, stitch it on as fast as you can kind of thing. It felt like I was in a sewing bee or something, you know. It wasn't the therapeutic kind of sewing I'm used to, you know, in my own time and relaxing. That's how I do my sewing, you know. That's why I probably don't get a lot done. I know people think I get a lot done, but I don't think I get a lot done. But it's because I'm so when I'm in the craft room, I just try and enjoy the process, not be too worried about the final thing. I just want to be in the moment, enjoy what I'm doing at the time. So that's everything in my bag, but there are more things that I've got to show you now. Some of the very exciting experiences I had, I stumbled across the Cool Crafting store. Now, I must admit, when I first came across it, I didn't realise it was Cool Crafting, because it was kind of the dressmaking side and then the animal side, and I'd stumbled across it on the dressmaker side, and then I was standing there in deep thought thinking, oh, who's it? Is this Cool Crafting? And just as like the penny was dropping, Sarah Peel actually recognised me. He said, "Claire, are you Claire?" And I was like, "Yes." And obviously I've not met her before, so I had to, you know, because normally her daughter, you know, gets on the camera more. And I thought, yes, it's definitely Sarah. And she said, basically, she said, you know, oh, you deserve a little thank you, and you can, that I've brought basically a lot of business her way. She said, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that have mentioned you to me, how they found me through, you know, me sharing. And she said, she called me an influencer, which I thought was very funny. It's not something I'd ever call myself, you know, because it sounds a bit funny, doesn't it? And it's never been my intention to be an influencer kind of thing. But I know that sometimes, you know, I share things just because I enjoy sharing them. I want to share what I've made with you, and it's lovely having people to talk to and getting feedback of people that enjoy the things I'm making, rather than boring the life out of my family that don't really care. So yeah, but it's really lovely. So I was really delighted to hear that I'd bought Sarah so much business. That, you know, I really do enjoy to do that for places, because obviously if it's places I like, the better they do, they're going to keep going, aren't they? So it helps me as well, and they might stock more and things, you know. So but anyway, so she said, I do recommend Flora, because she said, you haven't made Flora, have you? But, you know, have a look, leave it with you. So I had a little look around. Now, what footage have I got here? I think it's 48 seconds, the footage that I've got at Sarah's stand. So I'll pop that on now for you to see. So, oh gosh, there's the animals, obviously. And spot Hamish in his clothes, and he looks like he's getting married, doesn't he? And then there's Ziggy as well. And look at the raccoon at the top. I must admit, oh, look at the doll as well. I've never made the doll. Yeah, I'm really tempted with the raccoon, actually. Now I've turned around, I'm filming around the other side, and you can see Sarah's books, and, you know, the lamb and the deer and the squirrel, and yeah, and Eric the bear and the brown bear. And then look at this huge bear, and there's Flora rabbit and Ernest the fox, which they are larger animals. So that's come to an end now. So they're larger animals than the lunar lapping animals. The lunar lapping animals are smaller felt animals, and Ernest and Flora and that bear, I don't know the bear's name, I'm really sorry actually, because I've not been as into the large animals, because every time I've gone to shows and I've seen them, Flora has sold out, because I think Flora was new when I first liked the look of her. So anyway, so I said, yes Sarah, I think I'd really like Flora. She said, okay, let me get you some things, right? And I was just absolutely blown away, because Sarah gave me this bag of things and didn't want any money for them. So Sarah, if you were watching, I honestly, I can't thank you enough. I don't know if I was very quiet or, you know, not as talkative and things, but I was just in awe, you know, when I was in your shop, and, you know, and you're offering me this, and I probably didn't say everything that I wanted to say to you, because I know I've kind of gone on about your work and how impressed I am with it on my channel, but and hopefully you've seen it, but I don't know if you know, I have never said it to you, but honestly I am in awe of your, you know, your skill and everything, and your designs are just incredible. And this is what I was telling people at the show, actually, because there I am sporting my bag on my arm like this, and it was causing attention, and yes, I was saying, oh yes, I've made lots of them, and some people hadn't made them, and I was like saying, yes, oh go, you should really try and make one that, you know, you'll make one, they're pretty addictive and things, you know. And yeah, and I just, yeah, I was saying the clothes are just wonderful, they're not like your typical toy clothes and things. So yeah, so yeah, I was, you know, spreading the word about all my favourites and things while I was there. Unfortunately Poppy doesn't do that. Poppy to Fry, she does the trade show, but I did tell Poppy, if you're watching, I did tell the people about you do sewing kits now on your website, so they're printed ones. They said, oh, it's a free motion embroidery. I said, no, you don't embroider them, they're just printed. I suppose you could do if you wanted to, but yeah, just to make up basically. So well, anyway, back to this. This is the bag. Now how wonderful is it? It's so nice, and I kind of wish. Now, what I ended up doing, I ended up not spending anything on Sarah's stand then, because I was so blown away, and off I went with this. But but then I did think to myself, well, I was tempted to go back and get the raccoon, which I don't know his or her name, but I've got Ziggy. I've got to make Ziggy. I've got another rabbit I could make, and then I'm going to have the clothes and things to make. So yeah, I think I'm going to plod along with those first, and now I've got this before I purchase any more animals. But this is what's in my bag. So this is the kit to make Flora Lapping, and that would have been £24. So what? How incredible! So she's going to be lovely, isn't she? There's some lovely Liberty. It looks like Liberty, I'm sure it is. Fabric there for her ears, I presume. It looks like her feet are just plain fabric. Wow, I say this. I don't actually know where this fabric goes actually, because I can't actually see any floral fabric on this rabbit on the picture anyway. What I'm going to do before I make my Flora and cut all the pieces out, I'm going to research Flora a bit and see how other people have made it, if they've used fabric. But yes, there is fabric in there. So whether that's to make a dress, I don't know. So if you've made Flora, you might know, but I've not opened it yet. So maybe there is a dress pattern inside here, or a shirt pattern. I don't know at the moment, but yeah, I will look into that. Now, Sarah said this is brand new. This, and it's the Meadow Sweet Pattern Pack, and it's all clothes to make Flora Lapping. And there's a picture of the bear actually, and she gave me this fabric pack. Now again, I don't know how much these would have cost because she's gifted them to me, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a ribbon on it, which is a tape measure, and there's like a woolly kind of pinstripe. Oh wow! This fabric here, this glittery jersey, I actually made a Billy sweater dress in it in a darker colour, and it's divine, really divine. I wear it a lot in the winter. It's one of my favourite go-to outfits. It comes with this checkered fabric, another stripy fabric. It does feel like a jersey. Then a woven, a lovely looking woven, another woven white. It is textured. These look kind of, they're not, you know, pretty flat. There's a bit to them kind of thing. A lovely cotton fabric. I'll put a photograph of this bundle in, and these feel like, I think that's cuffing fabric actually. Lovely, that's beautiful. So I think these are the fabrics I'm going to need to make the outfits in here. Now I can actually see some of them. Now, do you know that checkered fabric I showed you? That I presume is to make that gorgeous, gorgeous dress that Flora's wearing. Now I'm looking at this bear, and he's wearing two different type of stripes, trousers and waistcoat, and he's got a lining which looks the same as Flora's. So yeah, I think that's to make those. So I think I'm going to be having to make either a boy Flora for her, or maybe I'll be making a large bear. I don't know. That'd be an up and coming thing to do, wouldn't it? So I'll have a little peek in here because I can open it easy. Now there is a beautiful, beautiful dress. I don't know if the fabric for the, oh it is, yes. Now that brownish fabric I was just showing you, that looks like, it all looks almost linen looking actually. This beautiful gathered dress that the bear is wearing. It's a dungaree dress or an overall dress if you're in the States, and it's got those lovely knots for the bits that you close there. That's really lovely, isn't it? I have got some other bears to make by other designers, so I don't know you know what, if I make this, if I'd go invest in the supplies for this bear yet, when I've got other bears to make. But yeah, I am tempted with a boy rabbit, but then when I'm looking in here at the bear, It is a little bit to die for, actually. So yeah, so here is the waistcoat picture. I'm so sorry about the glare from my craft lamp. It must be very shiny paper. There we go. I'm getting a bit better at showing things without glare, because I'm doing a lot of doll unboxings and they've got plastic on the front of them, so I'm kind of been angling them. And then the glittery fabric, I think, is for a wrap top. See a little glimpse of that. Oh, and I can see what that cuffing fabric is for. It's actually used for a waistband for some jersey stripy trousers, and they're on this page. There we go. Oh gosh, Flora is going to be the best dressed rabbit, isn't she? That's called the Schoolhouse Dress that she's on the front photograph. And that lovely like bluebell looking fabric that I showed you is to make the Meadow Sweet blouse. There is a little bit of a trim on there. I don't think the trim is in here, but it might be something I've got to source myself if I want the trim on the neck, on the collar and on the sleeves. But I'll look into that. I've probably got something like that in my stash. If not, I could get some. Yeah, and there we go. The last picture is of the bed, but it's just, and all the patterns are in it, and it's just to die for. And Sarah, thank you so much. I won't leave it very long until I make this. Definitely, it's just absolutely wonderful, and I couldn't thank you enough. And I would definitely purchase the raccoon from you in the future, but I just need to work on a few more things first, don't I? So now let me look at my photographs now. Now Mandy Shaw fans, you're going to be excited. So the only things I've got left to show you now from the Festival of Quilts is two more things, and then I'll talk about what I'm planning on making. I did stumble across Sew Me Something, and to start with, I chatted with a lady on the stand and I didn't buy anything at that point, but I did go back later, so I'll go back to that in a moment. So anyway, I found Mandy's stand, and actually people, Sue that was standing there, actually, she recognised my voice, Sue Walker. So hi Sue, if you're watching. Yes, she recognised my voice, and I recognise that voice, and then we got chatting, and she follows me on Facebook, and so yeah, she didn't say if she watches my videos, actually. Oh yes, I'm sure she does, because she was asking me some questions about YouTube, actually. So actually the first bit of footage I got at Mandy's stall is 12 seconds long, and it starts off, the lady that you can see right in the middle is Sue's friend who's recently got into sewing, and the lady on the right is Sue. So it's about 12 seconds long, so I'll pop that on. I don't know if they knew if they were getting filmed or not. And you can spot Mandy as well, there serving people. She's lovely. Now, I didn't own Mandy's book, the Christmas Table book, for two reasons. I think it's her newest book, Mandy's book. One, I don't have a table. Well, not at the moment. We all sit at the kitchen island. We have got like a table that, you know, it's a bit broken, it's in the conservatory, but we're going through renovation and it's got just stuff all over it and things. So yeah, we've not got a really table that I can decorate for an occasion at the moment. And we're going out for Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner is booked. We booked it in July, so that's when you have to do these things. So yeah, I held back, but I thought I might buy that book while I'm here. I won't have to pay the postage and things. So yeah, so that's what I was interested in getting, and it was lovely because I got to see the Christmas cake fabric Christmas cake all made up sitting there, which was really lovely to see. And then I've got about 18 seconds of footage here that I'm going to put on the screen for you. This is right down at the other end of Mandy's stall, and she'd got, see that lady there, she's picking up a few things, and that's one of the, see, there's Mandy again. And the lady that walked out just before was one of the ladies that works for Mandy as well, which I recognise. I couldn't remember her name. There she is, that's the back of her then actually. So then I've got one more other bit of footage. Now this footage is kind of staring into the gap where you'd get into the back of the store. That's where I was waiting to be served, and actually Mandy invited me in. Right, I felt like I got star treatment. It was wonderful. So Mandy said, come in. And yeah, I felt, honestly, I was in awe standing in this stand. And Mandy said, oh, you know, she'd give me a job if I lived closer. So, which is rather nice. She said she needs someone that knows her stuff. So I was thinking, oh, I'll bite your hand off, Mandy. So, oh gosh. So my husband said, what, when he picked me up, I said, where does she live? And I said, oh, it's too far, Chris. It's too far, fortunately. But anyway, so this is what I bought. So Mandy put it in this lovely bag. Now, I don't think, I don't know what qualified for people to get this bag, because I did see somebody get a paper bag, which was lovely, so that's what I was expecting. But I got a fabric bag, which is really, really lovely, and I did buy the book that I didn't own. Now Sue was saying, are you sure you don't own that? I'm sure we got it free in a Secret Society. I was like, no, I'm convinced I haven't got this book. You know, I've debated about it. I'm very convinced I haven't got it. And then we figured out which book it was we got free in the Secret Society, and this is it, and it's lovely. It's so lovely. And I did put a story on my Instagram, which might have gone onto Facebook, and I went to Weatherspoons for lunch. I just had a light bite thing. I had these like chicken bite things, and a pint of Pepsi Max, and I sat there looking. I looked at my cool crafting little package and looked through the pattern book for the clothes, and but I haven't looked at the actual rabbit pattern booklet at the moment. And I had a look through this, and it was just really lovely. I forgot actually I'd got those Tilda books. I could have looked through those too, but I was having to actually order for my boys' lunch at the time. I was ordering an Uber Eats for them because my husband hadn't got back. They're teenagers, so yeah, they kind of was, you know, without me for a little bit there until my husband got back. So I just ordered them food in. But yeah, they're 17 and 15, the middle and the youngest. So anyway, so this is Mandy's book, and it's lovely. And like I say, I haven't got a Christmas table to decorate, and I'm going out for Christmas dinner, but I'm sure in time this will be something. And what was really funny is, it's so funny watching people that come across Mandy's stand that haven't got a clue about Mandy, and someone walked past and going, oh look, it's Christmas, and actually what she was pointing at was nothing to do with Christmas. It's just because of all the red, it just kind of screams Christmas, doesn't it? But that, you know, that's what we're all about, aren't we, Christmas? And I did hear somebody speaking to somebody saying, I've got no time for Christmas. It's not like I don't like Christmas, but I don't want to do Christmas projects and quilting because you have them out for such a short time of the year, which I get that. But I have to say, Christmas is just delightful. I find Christmas so exciting when I can get out all the things I've made that I haven't seen all year. Do you know what? It's just wonderful. And it's the same with Easter, because I only get to have them out at Easter time. It's just really lovely. So yeah, don't be put off on making things. And she can't start Halloween either, because you know it's a short amount of time. But you could start getting your Halloween things out September, couldn't you? Enjoy them for a couple of months. The shops are already putting Halloween in. Well, anyway, now as you know from past Stitch Diaries, I purchased a little bit of all Amanda's fabrics because she released some fabrics, and I ordered a quarter and I was expecting long quarters, but they were all fat quarters, which was fine because you kind of can do a bit more with a fat quarter. But this one came in a fat quarter, and I did feel like I can't really do all that much with it. I will do something with it, but I needed the length at least. So I definitely wanted a length. Wow, this was probably my biggest purchase, I'd say. This is 2 meters, so it's folded in half at the moment. So the fabric from selvage to selvage, the stripes go down lengthways. So this could be infinite. You could have a bolt of it, couldn't you? So if you needed really, really, really long pieces. So I've got pieces that are as long as 2 meters. So if I wanted to put a border around a quilt, I could do a quilt that is 2 meters basically to go around this. Now I'm just wondering, how often is the repeat? Let's have a look. So the first one is that one, so I'm going to have a look. So the next repeat is there, then on the other side there and there. So basically you get that first design 4 times. So yeah, you've got a lot to play with, and yet 2 meters, I know I'm going to be safe. I'm not saying I am going to border this with a quilt for a quilt. I don't know, basically. But if I've got the other fabrics, and I know I've got lots to play with now. And I'm guessing if you go into the Festival of Quilts over these next few days, this might be sold out when you go there. You know, and I must admit, when I was purchasing it, it seemed to spiral out of control, and a lot of people were wanting it as well. So it might be coincidence they wanted it anyway, but I did kind of notice. I think I was talking to Sue. It's kind of selling it to people then, I was saying. So as long as I got some, I didn't mind. But I'm sorry if you go and it's sold out. So yeah, it was so exciting. Mandy was truly lovely to me as well. So thank you to Mandy. You know, you were really lovely to see again. Now, I didn't have any photographs taken with anybody this time. Yeah, I don't know how much people like having their photograph taken. Yeah, I'm always a bit unsure. And you know, and then I've had people say, oh, I don't want to stand next to you, you're too slim, and things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't want to put people out, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I am quite small, and, you know, like I'm a kid size clothes basically. So this goes on to this actually. I bought a sewing pattern. Now it does go down to a UK size 6, but they did say you probably have to size down and things, and this is going to be very boxy, so it might be huge. But I have already traced out the pieces for it. I haven't traced the skirt, just the bodice pieces, and it's the Sew Me Something where I went back to Jessica, and apparently this has only been out 1 month. And it's a lovely gathered dress with buttons down the front. So I must admit, I was tempted to, I've looked at it on now on people. Now look how skinny my arms are. They're just insanely thin, aren't they? I don't know what the measurement is, and I haven't got a measurement down. Should I get a tape measure? Hang on, bear with me. My arm, my bicep, it's getting close to like 8.5 inches, that, you know, circumference. So yeah, my arms are very skinny, and you know, when you look at these patterns, so I'm tempted to go sleeveless, and maybe even, do you know, like this Barbie, her arms, look, these are sleeveless. It's lined but sleeveless, and it just kind of goes out a little bit here. So I could do that with this pattern. I could basically add a piece of fabric to these side pieces, and I could just extend it out 1 inch and then taper it into the arm like that, and not bother with the sleeve, because I've seen the sleeve on another lady in Jules's Sew Me Something group, and the sleeves look quite big. I'm not saying it's Jules's sleeves, it's sleeves in general. I mean, like look at this. Do you know what I'm saying? This is just looks really, you know, too big, really, doesn't it? It's not too bad on the bust, really, but yeah, it just, that's a problem I have, having skinny arms. And the chest on this, I think she said, is a 36. I don't know what I'm measuring at the moment, and obviously it depends on a bra. So yeah, I'm about 31.5 inches at the moment, and this finished garment is going to be 36 inches, so it's going to be quite large, and it's a very, I think it might be a very boxy shape. And so if it's 36 inches finished size on the bust, wherever this top finishes, it's going to be the same. So let's have a look at it. She did say you can take this in on the waist a little bit. So the bodice finished size, it's going to be like that. It's rather roomy, isn't it? So I worry it's going to be a bit too oversized on me. And then to top it off, on top of that 36 inches, the skirt is that and a half on top of that 36 inches, on the smallest size this is. So I think it's going to be absolutely massive. It's whether I want that kind. I would like a gathered dress that kind of looked like this, maybe that kind of ease, which isn't a lot. So, and what have I done here? Did I do any darts? No, I haven't done any darts on this. You probably could do with it. Yeah, I've done no darts. I think I'm gonna have to narrow it, or either I just make it up. I've got loads of fabrics that I haven't done anything with from the So Hayley Jane thing. I am thinking of trying it in this. So this is a double layered fabric. It's like a chambray denim look, and it's got another layer underneath which does come apart. You don't have to keep it together. I might make the dress as it is, right, and see what happens. Or I might make it, you know, with some alteration. Like, I'll definitely be shortening the skirt, there's no doubt about that. Maybe I'll shorten the waist, no, narrow the waist, do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll do that thing with the sleeve, I don't know. So I'm either going to make it as it is to start with, or I'm going to hack it. I'm not quite sure. So basically, yeah, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to basically get off camera. I'm not going to get off camera and start editing. I'm just going to keep this for now. And yeah, and I'm just going to crack on, and I'm going to start cutting out fabric. So wish me luck with my little project. Thank you for joining me so much so far, and I'll see you in the next bit. Welcome back. Now, it's actually been a week since I sat in front of the camera, and I've got good reason. I did manage to actually make my dress, my Jessica dress, over 2 days following when I last chatted with you. I made the bodice one day, made the skirt the next day, and then sewed the buttons on the same time that I made the skirt. But yeah, we had a bit of a bad news. Well, we had an unfortunate incident. We took our cat to the vet because she was actually having some blood from the mouth, and yeah, they found out that it was coming from here, and she wasn't sure if it was she was more going towards that it was a tumour. So she kind of sent her home, because it was the nurse that we saw, sent her home. She'd come back Monday, and we'll get you in with the vet and we'll see how she is. And unfortunately, the vet told us she advised that we put her to sleep. So it's at, you know, I'm being brave talking about it. I wasn't sure whether to bring it up because I didn't know if it would set me off, but I have already had a few more tears this morning, and yeah, so I've kind of got myself together. But yeah, it is gut wrenching because I have got 3 other cats, and when you, like, you know, you're feeding them and, you know, one's missing and you're not seeing her all day, yeah, it's just a constant reminder of how much, you know, you miss your pet, isn't it? Yeah, so anyway, I don't want to make this really glum, this end of this video, but we have had some good news. My middle son, who, you know, if you follow my journey a long time, the one I home educated for 4 years, who went into college to do his GCSE, he actually passed his exams, so we're over the moon. We are so really happy with the results, you know, he's more than passed them, kind of thing. So yeah, we're so chuffed about it. So anyway, now you will know I've been doing some crocheting and I'm doing some sewing. Well, my sewing is finished. Now this is my Daffodil Monster that you've seen before, so I went and got him or her for you. And you basically, you get, when you get these kits from Toft with these you know, flower monsters, you get these bags. So basically you get a pattern card. Now I am making the daisy this time, and but you can download the PDF, and that's what I do. I print out the PDF so I don't, you know, mess up my card, and then I can mark off my rows. Now I haven't finished this project, it's a work in progress. I haven't done any petals yet. I'm actually I'm finished with the yellow, and that's how much I've got left, which is great. And now I'm working with the green. So I'm actually making an arm at the moment. So that's a part of an arm. Here is a ball of green that I've not used yet. It's just, if you want to know what kind of green, it just says green, a 19621. And the cream is 19451. And I'm not too sure of the yellow because I don't know if the ticket's in here. Anyway, this is how I'm doing so far. So this is the head, which is finished and complete. This is the body, which is complete, but I've not stuffed it yet. So it's got a bulbous belly like this one. And basically what I am doing now, so this is the head like this one, and then the body's done, and now what I'm working on is an arm, and I'm probably about down to here of an arm, the first arm. Then you do the other arm. You don't stuff the arms, and I think you lightly stuff the legs. I've not done the legs yet. And obviously this monster is a daisy, so instead of like all these yellow bits and this funnel, the daffodil, you basically just do loads of these cream petals, cream or white, whatever you choose. Now even though it's cream, they look white anyway next to the other colours. So yeah, so that's really exciting. I'm working on that in the evenings. I must admit I've not been doing it every evening. I've watched a fantastic movie, 13 Lives. I've started watching the prequels for Game of Thrones. Yeah, I've been watching quite a bit of TV and things. So yeah, so there's been some nights I haven't worked on it, or I start playing on a word game. I really like this game called Wordscapes, and I'm playing that because I think it will help with my spelling. However, they don't follow the Oxford Dictionary because there's words that I know exist it doesn't recognise, and there's words that are not in the Oxford Dictionary. They don't, you know, and they basically they come up. So I don't think it's a British game, but it's still good fun, and I think it might help with my spelling. So that is the crochet that I'm doing. Now I'm going to show you my dress, and it's absolutely wonderful. Now the buttons aren't done up. Now the hardest part of this was choosing the buttons. Now that fabric I showed you, it's double layered, so I haven't lined it as such. It's just 2 layers of fabric, and what I decided to do with the facings, I decided to use the that side of it to sit on my skin rather than the wholly I think it's like a chambray, but yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, it is. And I have wore it out to the shops, and I used Mandy shawl buttons. Now I didn't basically you like measure up with the buttons when I did the buttonhole. I just made my buttonholes as large as I possibly could, because you've got a line of stitching down here, and obviously you've got the edge, so I just made them as big as I could, and then I just thought I'll match the buttons after. And yeah, I absolutely love these heart buttons. I've made them quite proud, so they can twist a little, but they do sit nice once they're in, just so I've got a bit of movability to get it through, because I tested the buttons before I sewed them on, and I thought, yes, I can do this, but it's a bit of wiggling around, and it just, you know what, it's a thing of beauty, isn't it? So I'll lift it up. Now mine is very short, and I must admit it is a little too short. I wore it out with leggings, because what I didn't realise is when I measured up the piece, I thought, yes, that will be fine, but I didn't realise it drops down at the back, so it's kind of it drops down on the back end and it comes up at the front. It's kind of shaped the hem. You probably can see that a little bit on the hanger. Well, it's on the hanger, I'm holding it, you can see there. And yeah, so it's a little short. You could wear it kind of abroad, maybe down, you know, as a beach cover-up kind of style, but yeah, it's a bit short for going shopping in your local town in England, in the middle of England, far away from the sea. But yeah, with leggings it looked rather nice. And then I actually put a little wedge on, which obviously if you something's a bit short you have to watch. Actually, my husband's delivery is at the door, bear with me. That was a nice surprise. I'm sorry about that. I opened the door to my husband's delivery. My husband was there and the delivery guy, so that was very nice. So anyway, back to the dress, the Jessica dress by Sew Me Something. Now this is the smallest size. It's the size 6, but they do in UK they do come up generous. It is rather big on me, and I actually took 10 inches out of the gathered skirt. How I decided on the size for the gather, and the gather's been perfect, I measured my widest part, and then I took that measurement, worked out what half of that was, and added it to my full width, so it's like me and a half on my widest part. And that's the kind of gather I like on garments, so that the gather is fine. If I made it again, I probably would make it longer if I wanted to wear it as a dress. If I wanted to wear it with leggings, this actually is the perfect length. Now with the pockets, I only use the one layer of fabric, because I didn't want that holey fabric inside the pocket. I wanted this, and actually now I've got 2 spare pieces of fabric that are cut in pockets and they're holey, but I'll probably end up having to put them in my scrap, because what good is a holey pocket? It's not any good use to anybody, really, is it? So so that is that. And yeah, and it's just wonderful. It's just really, really wonderful. And I didn't end up using any interfacing for the facing pieces, because you meant to cut one in facing, one in interfacing, because this was a double layered fabric. I just used the 2 layers and it's absolutely fine. Now I'll pop some photographs in if I haven't done that already. And oh, and there was one funny incident I remember at the Festival of Quilts that I forgot to tell you about. Now in one part of the day I found somewhere to sit, and I was chatting with a few people online because I posted a story and people were replying to it. Sat there cross-legged looking inside my bags and things, and I saw somebody loitering around with a trolley, like looking at me, and I thought, what, you know, why are they looking at me? Anyway, what I didn't realise is they wanted to park the trolley there. It wasn't until I walked away and walked back and I saw them parking the trolley. I just thought they were like staring at me. I thought, oh, you know, why are you looking at me? You know, and I get anxiety, and it's because they just wanted to park the trolley there. So yeah, it's always me causing trouble when I go to places. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Stitch Stitch Diaries. I've really enjoyed bringing you another one. Hopefully it won't be too long till I bring another one, because I've already cut out a garment pattern and it's on my hall floor. I've stuck it all together. I've printed it this morning, stuck it together and cut it out. I've just got to get some fabric for it, but it might kind of, even though it's for me, it might be something that's in one of my Harry Potter videos, because it is Harry Potter inspired. So yeah, when you see it, you'll understand. So that's really exciting. So yeah, and I've got loads of Barbie stuff. You probably can see lots of pink going on here. I've definitely got to do another Barbie video, probably a few actually, and a Harry Potter, and yeah, and then maybe a Stitch Diaries soon after, when I finish my Daisy and whatever garment. So anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.